Hello, David. Welcome along to 2020.
Yeah. Hi, Neil. Thanks for taking my call. And hi, Gavin.
What's your question, David?
Okay, look, I'm approaching preservation age. I was born before the magic July 60, 2 months before that, actually, and I can get my super out in 2 months' time. And I've actually put most of my effort into my life into accumulating some properties, which gives me a decent return in rental, and that's probably really my primary source of income now, as I'm only doing about 3 or 4 hours a week work. But with the super that's there, it's not a large amount. What is it best to keep it going? Should I invest it in something different? Can I use it as a tax advantage?
Yeah, it's a very good question. When you do turn 55, if you're born before 1960, as you say, you've reached your preservation age. If you're not working, it means you've satisfied a condition of release and you can access that superannuation money. Depending on how much is there, you might be able to pull out, if it's less than 185,000, you can pull it out tax-free. So there could be a potential there if you've got any debt on the do you have debt on the properties at all, or are they debt free?
I actually don't have any debt.
Great.
I have 5 properties with no debt, so you know I suppose I've put the hard yards in, and I won't be looking for any pension from the government. So, but I need to make the most of what I've got and try to minimise my taxes as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So the next challenge is that if they're all outside of superannuation in your own name, then your ongoing tax is going to be your main challenge, and the question will be how you go about managing that. You can potentially use your superannuation to make contributions into it to offset some tax. So if you're paying if your taxable income 60 grand, you could possibly put 30 grand into super as what we call a concessional contribution or a personal contribution, and just doing that, if your taxable income's around the 60 grand, will save you about 6 grand in tax. So there are things like that you can do, and because you're then satisfied a condition of release, you can also then get access to that money relatively quickly as well. So I think for your scenario, David, it's really about managing the tax and thinking about whether over time you might move some of your funds from particularly if you're saving more than you're spending, that surplus could potentially go into the super, and then the benefit of getting into the super at your stage is that you can move it to pension phase, and in pension phase it's a tax-free. There's no tax paid on the earnings within the pension phase, so that's one of the advantages of continuing to use the super for you.
Can I still use the advantage of putting lump sums in there if I'm using it as a transition to retirement? I'm taking an income stream from that.
Yeah, it's a really common question, and the answer is yes. And the way that happens is that you just leave a small balance in your existing accumulation account, and then you've got the majority of your funds over in the pension account that's earning in a tax-free environment. So you keep open the accumulation account with a small balance in it, and you can continue to put money into that.
All right, David, great to hear from you, and appreciate your input today, and glad to be able to bring a response from a financial advisor to the issues that you're facing in your particular scenario. David from Ballina, thanks for being with us on 2020.